Busy along tour path this morning. We're in Saltaire. Look at that, and the sun's just decided to go in. What I wanted to try and capture on film, but it doesn't look like maybe I can, is just here. There's an enterprising spider who's taken from the side of the boat. I don't know if that's going to come out on film, up into that tree. What a clever spider. And it's not just one strand, there's a couple of strands there. How about that? What a dude. I feel really guilty because I'm about to spoil it when we set off. But that's no mean feat, Mr. Super Spider. So we're not got a massive day today. We were going to go and explore Saltaire this morning. Unfortunately, we need to get to Appley Bridge quite quickly because we may have a certain holding tank which needs to be emptied, as you can tell by the fact that the boat is listing a little. And then from Appley Bridge we're going off to Rodley, where we shall be stopping for the night. And then tomorrow morning we're leaving at 7 to get down into Leeds, hammer down into Leeds, early doors, because guess what, Charlotte's working. Hopefully we're not going to have any rain today. And I do hope I'm catching that spider's thread web, because what an absolute stunning feat of achievement it is. Quite literally 5 minutes around bend from Saltaire is Shipley. I've always thought this place looks, quite welcoming right up until the fucking marquee tent went up anyway. But that's COVID, isn't it? But what a nice little kind of outdoor atrium. That's the term. Atrium. Don't know if anyone will get that. Now, a few years ago, we were coming the other way, and I smelt a brewery. Sometimes it's that smell, you can't miss it or mistake it for anything else. Looked over to me right, as it were, because we were coming this way, and I found a brewery, Saltaire Brewery, tap room and shop. No, that's the brewery back at the end there. It's not massive, it's not like Salt, but I do some decent beers. Sadly they're in supermarkets, which I always think is a bad sign. But the shop and tap room weren't open. I'm wandering around. I said to a guy, "Oh, realise you was here. When's your tap room open? When's the shop open?" And he says, "Hang on a minute, I'll get the keys." I'm not sure whether that was in line with their licensing hours, but I don't care. I walked away with a couple of packs of really nice beers. So there we are, that's Shipley, and just past there is Gallows Bridge. And sadly the sun's buggered off, but it's not raining and it's not terribly cold, so I'm not really that bothered. There we go. Saltaire Brewery. Well, so Charlotte opened the bridge, I go for it, and then this muppet with a child in front just decides to sail straight through. You can't measure the level of fuckwittery within some people, you really fucking can't. 26 tons of boat, you just decide to go sailing straight through. Ah, dear. I've just been talking about self-preservation in one of my other videos when it comes to panic buying and it being sort of like selfishness just being a human trait. But fucking hell. It's very bright. Yeah. Coming up to the first of today's locks, there's a triple, then a double. So in other words, there's they're both staircase locks. And we've moored here a couple of times. Because they lock the locks at night. I think it's the first time we've actually moored here. Nappy pinned it. And that's good. We have a nice open lock. Don't close the gates. And a Silsden hire boat. Goodly. Strange, you know, I remember mooring here, and I can't remember when it was. I definitely remember that view, and it was with Max, and what I remember was he had a special diet that we had to cook for him, rice and stuff, for some reason. I can't remember what the reason was, but oh, it's windy. And so we had to cook it fresh, then put it in his bowl, let it coolden down. And so we put it on the front deck to let this rice and whatever it was cool down. And while it was cooling down, I heard a noise on the front deck. I looked at some fucking swans had jumped on. They'd eaten his grub. Little fuckers. And that was just back there. I don't know why we was moored back there. And another time we came up here, I think we would have been going this way when that happened. Another time we ended up mooring here, we was coming this way. I can't remember why we would have moored at the top of the locks. I've no idea. But it does mean this area anyway is quite a popular mooring spot for us, just at the top of these locks and in the vicinity. I think we've probably done the Leeds Liverpool more than I thought, which is good. Means I'm sort of almost getting to know where I am. No, you're right, not really. The bottom of these locks are only about sort of 10-15 minutes from Appley Bridge, where we get to pull in. Well, as I've observed before, normally I'd have gone and given him a little shove just to make sure he's alive, but that's because my history is working with opiate users who may have overdosed, and I know it would have been pointless going over and nudging him. Well, I don't know, but I suspect strongly, because he's been smoking some spice and just gone temporarily comatose. So there's absolutely no point. And I would much prefer to see a more rational approach toward drug use rather than this strange utopian idea that by prohibition we can make all the problems go away, when the evidence is that prohibition focuses and amplifies the problems associated with drug use. Just so the poor fucker doesn't end up with pneumonia, because it is not the warmest or driest of days to be gouging out on a bench by the canal. The Pendle Witches. It's a story about the Pendle Witches. Oh, so Rodley, we're in Rodley. Isn't that nice? I like that. I do like that. And this is it now for the day. Christ. Who'd have guessed it's raining? So fairly short run today. Huge whiff of ganja. I think it's ganja. Just came across the canal. And I've put the heating on in there. So, oh fucking hang on. That's better. Sorry about that. Rain, isn't it? Here we go. End of day 63 at Rodley.